Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie Fisher. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I am owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. There is a big old caveat to Monday's video. So the concept is that we can operate from a place of clarity, but we typically gain confidence as we go. And that is something where from a starting point or from some type of formative process, picking the starting point and having clarity there is really important and so helpful. And we actually gain a lot of clarity as we go too. So when I think through what was my goal in going into the PhD program, honestly, initially, my goal was to be a full-time professor. And then I actually went to my first interview for the program, not the one that I'm in, but another one that I had an interview for. And I did not like the process. And I actually got incredibly disenchanted with that idea of what I was being invited into from their organizational kind of academic policies and structure. And so I actually started my doc program saying like, I think I want to teach, but I'm actually not really sure because I had this really upsetting experience and have a lot of skepticism running. And also, I think this program orients me towards something, and probably something that's going to be significant, but also something I don't quite yet understand. If someone said to me, Steph, you graduate if all goes well next April, what are you doing next? It's like, honestly, I think things actually stay the same for a while. Probably recalibration and recovery is a big part of it. But really, there's not a lot of clarity because there's just a lot of options. And so initially, I'm going to do more of the same that I'm already doing. And as I've gone through this formative process, the options have really opened up. And then I'm going to kind of carefully walk out the next little step because I'm in a position where I could do a radical overhaul to my life, and that's not me operating from a place of clarity typically. That's me operating from a place of like excitement or optimism or fear, incidentally. So clarity can emerge as we go through processes, and a lot of things get cleared up when we just commit to whatever the formative process is in front of us. A component that many students really dislike is the gen ed requirements in a lot of undergrad expectations. But when you think about a heavily monitored system where there's a lot of different places that you're exploring, you're put in proximity to many different people who all have a potential influence on you. It's actually a really great microcosm to just explore. When we look at identity formation, James Marcia in 1966 had this really cool theory around identity achievement. And part of his whole philosophy is based on exploration. Those who don't explore likely have underdeveloped identity because there's nothing to compare their choices to. When you go into an undergrad program and you realize, hey, I like economics, but I really don't like psychology. Well, that's coming from a place of experience where you've tried the one, you've tried the other, and then you've put them into a hierarchy of what fits you best or what fits you better. That's experiential learning. That's a really good thing to be a part of. If I am going into an entry-level position at, let's say, I used to work at Walgreens. So many years ago when I worked at Walgreens, as soon as I was as soon as I was cashier and I worked in the cosmetology department and I worked in photo and they had options for management, choosing because I've worked in each position comes from a place of experiential learning. And so sometimes that exploration helps us understand more about ourselves, which affords us clarity as we go. I wouldn't have known in my first class of my bachelor's program that I was certain I wanted to be a middle school teacher. I actually would have been certain I probably didn't want to be a middle school teacher. But as I went through the formative process, as I went to some of the student teaching experiences, and then as doors opened into the career stage of my life, a lot of reshaping of my understanding of self emerged because of that experiential piece. And so while you can start from a place of clarity, we also get clearer as we go through different formative processes. And so if you're going to get started and you don't yet know the outcome, not only is that normal, I think that's important. If you started and you already know the outcome, it's possible that you're foreclosing on opportunities and that you're not an open system where different inputs can come in and influence you in new directions, which is a part of operating from a place of clarity and discernment. It's uncomfortable. There's, again, disorientation. There's a lot of uncertainty and overwhelm. But exploration, friends, is action, and exploration is learning. And we can operate over time as we've gone through different processes where we've become really clear about our likes, our dislikes, our preferences, our limits, and our giftings.